What's going on, y'all? AFO Aaron back again, and the Titans have just concluded their draft. Pretty solid haul overall, in my opinion. Got some positions in need for sure. Got a couple steals, in my opinion. The last two picks in McMath and Breezy, or Breeze, or however you want to say it. They're more of like special teams. They're solid pickups. They're solid special team players. Especially with McMath, he didn't have much production at LSU. But that's besides the point. I just figured, go over some of the picks, and I've already done this in my last two videos. If y'all want to check them out, first pick obviously Caleb Farley. If not for the back injury, definitely would have been at least top 15. Could have been top 10 along with J.C. Horn and Patrick Surtain. We took the best player available. We really got to trust. I trust the Titans, that they trust the medical doctors, that they know what Farley's back situation is like, and he can end up being an all-pro player. Honestly, he's got great size at 6'2", 197. I don't really the arm length, I guess, is pretty good. For catching the balls and whatnot. But that's a solid pick. Especially the Colts ahead of us had gotten Queedy Pay. We needed to get a big-time playmaker at corner, because we could have easily chosen an edge rusher, but we needed a solid corner, and Farley falling that far back to us, it's just a great value pick of a steal. It could end up being a steal, just like Jeffrey Simmons a couple years back when he tore his ACL. He could have been easily a top 10 pick. Easily, some were saying top 5 as well. And he fell back to 19 to us, and he's done pretty good so far with us. So that's what that reminds me of, in a sense. Lance Zierlein. I trust NFL.com a little bit more than ESPN. So with NFL.com, Lance Zierlein and Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks, they projected him around 1 or 2, but that's because of the back injury. Comparison, Sean Smith, and for a little bit, Sean Smith was pretty solid. Let's see, rare size for the position, does an excellent job of utilizing his frame and length to catch in space. I don't really want to go over all that. Now that I think about it, I'm not going to go over all that. But let's see. It's a high school quarterback, only played for a couple years. It's reasonable that he keeps learning. Yeah, if he's playing this well, and, I think they switched him from, I think it was receiver. It was quarterback and then receiver when he got to college, and then they switched him to corner. But yeah, if he's playing this well, or he played that well back in 2019, and he's only been playing corner for that like a couple years, that's solid. He can still learn, and that's where the value of Janoris Jenkins comes through with our pick later on in the draft as well. Janoris Jenkins is that veteran, since Malcolm Butler's going to be gone, and even Adoree Jackson could have been a little bit of a veteran presence, maybe not. But yeah, solid pick overall. He can end up being an all-pro. I don't care what anyone says, as long as he stays healthy. I really, really love this pick. Round 2, moving on to round 2, Dillon Radunz. I guess how you say his name. It kind of caught me off guard a little bit with Terrace Marshall was still on the board, and Titans fans were clamoring for a receiver. So it caught me off guard a bit, but with the whole Isaiah Wilson situation from last year, and him being traded to the Dolphins, and now he's not even in the league, and he released a garbage rap album, or whatever he released. It was rap, it was garbage, but I heard like one little snippet. It was garbage. But anyways, so this is a needed pick, especially with we released Dennis Kelly in the offseason, and we did sign Kendall Lamb, but is he really, the starter at right tackle for us? No, I highly doubt that. And I truly think that Radunz was a great pick. He played left tackle, protecting Trey Lance's blind side. He seemed to be solid in the, North Dakota State runs a pro-style system, so he's probably well-versed within the same system that we're going to be running, obviously behind Derrick Henry, and he's a mauler in the run game. Could probably do, if we move him over to right tackle, he won't be as needed. I guess you could say in pass protection, that's Tannehill's front side, but he can still learn his techniques and just being able to don't second guess on some things and whatnot. But that was one of the big things that they were talking about during the draft is he weaknesses, lacks foot quickness and just stuff like that, and reaching, and opens up and chases at the top of the, stuff like that. And, when you're at North Dakota State, You are playing a little bit of smaller competition, so he might have to learn with that. But we had the same qualms with Nate Davis, coming from, I think it was Charlotte. He came from Charlotte, and he's a pretty solid player. Now this is guard, different position, but he's been pretty solid. So I like this pick as well. Fills a need. Could have picked a receiver or just any or a O lineman here or an edge rusher here, and I truly like that. Now this next pick, Monty Rice, it caught a lot of Titans fans off guard. It certainly caught me off guard because I was like, man, we don't need a linebacker. We really don't. With Rashawn Evans and Jayon Brown, and that's what he plays is middle. He plays the inside linebacker spot. But you got to thinking about it. Next offseason, we're lucky that Jayon Brown signed a little deal as he did. And him and Rashawn Evans are going to be going into the offseason next year. One of the two is probably going to leave, and most likely going to leave. And that leaves competition open for that next spot with Monty Rice or David Long. And, so it ended up like he grew on me. This pick grew on me a little bit. And I truly think that he'll be fighting for that backup spot with David Long, or that could be turned into the starting spot next offseason. So it grew on me, but could have picked someone else here maybe. Who knows? You could have gotten him later in the 4th round or something like that. Who knows? But I like it. I mean, I remember him from the Tennessee as a Tennessee Vols fan. I do remember him. Scooping and scoring. He literally sacked Garantano, stripped it, picked it up, and scored. So he's a fast coverage linebacker, small, 6 foot, 233. But so is Jayon Brown. It's perfect for our defense. And Georgia had a solid defense this year or the past couple years, and so he can translate pretty well, I think, if we coach him up right. Now this next pick, probably the premier steal. That's what some of the analysts are saying. That's not even me, but premier steal of the draft, getting him in the the early 4th round. Yeah, the early 4th round. He can play slot corner, and he's small. I think that's what got people, and his arms are really small. 5'9", 192. I mean, and I think he ran a 4.6 40. So I think people were it's round 3. My bad. I meant round 3, but yeah. So solid pick. I mean, they were comparing him to Tyrann Mathieu, and even someone else was comparing him to. There's Tyrann Mathieu, and projected round 3. Some were saying round 2, and he was right behind Asante Samuel Jr. So he's a great slot corner. If you watch his tape, he's a ball hawk. He has he's not the fastest guy, but he's got the quick twitch, which is what you need in as a slot corner or in the nickel defense, or just anything of sorts. And that's where, like I said, Janoris Jenkins comes through, can help him, and coach him and Christian Fulton up, and Caleb Farley up, and we still even have a Kevin Johnson or a Chris Jackson, and Breon Borders. All these guys outside of Kevin Johnson, are young, and Janoris Jenkins, I think, will help with that. And it's just solid. We can get as many as we want to, and this is a value pick, just like the Amani Hooker pick. We got him in the 4th round. We were thinking, we had Kenny Vaccaro and Kevin Byard. Why do we need Amani Hooker? Turns out, John Robinson knows what he's doing, getting solid value picks, even if it's not a position of need, a best player available type deal. Truly, truly love this pick. Probably the biggest steal of the in the entire draft, but definitely for us as well. Going on to the next one. Okay, so this is where Titans fans get happy. Finally, a receiver, right? 4th round. The player himself, Des Fitzpatrick. I'd never heard of him. Lots of Titans fans had never heard of him, but you look into it, had a solid Senior Bowl. He won the offensive MVP and almost the game MVP. I think he caught 8 balls for 90 receiving yards, but from what I had seen, he had trouble. He played his freshman year, arguably his best season, with Lamar Jackson. And then every year after that, he kind of dropped off because of QB play, quarterback play. And, he's 6'2", 208, and I think he ran a 4.39. If it shows it, I hate when the pop-up thing. Well, I guess not. I can probably look at it in a little bit, but I think he ran like close to a 4.4. It was like a 4.39 at 6'2", 208 pounds. That's solid. And if you watch that Senior Bowl performance, he did really well against other top seniors. So I think that this could be end up being a sleeper. We did trade a lot. We did trade a lot within this draft to pick him up. So I don't know if that was necessarily the right choice. I was watching the coverage real quick, but I don't know if that's necessarily the right choice. You had Shi Smith there, Tylan Wallace was still there, a few guys, maybe the Powell guy, Cornell Powell, I think his name is. You had all them guys there. Could you have chosen them? But they truly like Fitzpatrick if they traded all that away. So I'm going to trust them. I'm going to trust John Robinson. I'm going to trust him, especially him being he's got some quality picks the last few years in the middle rounds. So I truly trust J-Rob, as they say, with this pick. Not the most flashy pick, but I think he'll end up being, he might start off in the slot or as a number 3, number 4 receiver, probably number 3, not number 4. But he'll start behind, obviously, A.J. Brown and Josh Reynolds. So I like this pick. I'm going to end up, this pick's going to grow on me, I think. It's just initially not the most solid pick, I guess you could say. Moving on to Rashad Weaver. This is where I was saying, this is another steal that we had. He was projected, I had been seeing in the, early second at the highest, and even, I guess at the lowest, the third. And, we got him at the end of the 4th round. Oh, man, excuse me. But solid pick. He was an All-American, and this is after he tore his ACL in 2019. I think it was 2019. He tore his ACL, came back, and did even better for Pittsburgh last season. And he fell all the way, and he was a guy I was seeing. We were getting some mock drafts are saying we were going to get him in the 2nd round with our 2nd pick, and I was like, edge rusher. We do need another edge rusher, but if worst comes to worst, he can slide inside, with a Danico Autry and help on that front, and or he could just be a solid rotational piece behind Harold Landry and Bud Dupree. I love this pick. I love it. He does fit the mold of a defensive end more, so I probably shouldn't say he'll be a rotational piece behind it, but because he's not the most overtly athletic guy, but solid pickup to be coached up by Danico Autry possibly, and Danico Autry was a great pickup for us. Stole him from the Colts, thank the Lord, but yeah, solid pick, and if he's an All-American, I really love this pick. Great run stuffer, probably has one of the best hands in the draft. You go on Twitter and you see some of these analysts, and they're saying, had some of the best hands in the draft. Some had him in the top 5 at his position. You get a top 5 in the position in the 4th round. That's solid. So that's 2 steals for us right there, I think. Unless you want to count Caleb Farley, that's 3, in my opinion. But, you go on to the last 2 picks for the Titans. Racey McMath. He's 6'2" and a half, 6'3", 211. He ran pretty well, backup special teamers, what they grade him as, and that's probably what he's likely going to be. But he could end up being a solid depth pick. Didn't have much production at LSU. He was behind Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson and all them, but there's really nothing else too much. He can start off as a special teamer and work his way in to the lineup, especially with our receiver room. And then our last pick was Brady Breezy. I remember seeing him play against in the Pac-12 championship a couple years back, and he's solid. He was a solid safety, solid player who was a team leader and whatnot. And so they grade him as a chance to make the end of roster or practice squad. I think so as well. He's going to end up being behind Amani Hooker and Kevin Byard and who's our other safety? I can't even remember our backup safeties. But the best case scenario is he becomes a special teamer and he becomes a backup safety for us, and that's and he could translate well into that. Hopefully, played big time in the Pac-12 at Oregon, so solid pickup. You had Mike Vrabel announce this pick, and I'm pretty sure we are done. Yeah, the Los Angeles Rams have traded that pick away. So, draft's still going on, but I think we're pretty much done. So, Titans overall solid draft. We waited maybe a little bit too long on the receiver is my one question, and then maybe the Monty Rice pick, but I think I'm going to grow into that. But yeah, you scroll through Brady Breezy, let's go Titans, picking him, Mike Vrabel announcing, man, solid draft. It was a solid draft. I really like the Farley pick. Let's see. Let me go to the teams. Really like the Farley pick. Radunz was a solid positional need. The only questions, obviously, like I said, was just Monty Rice being picked that early, if you want to call it that, after trading back with the Packers, and just picking a receiver a little late. That's the only qualms I have with this. Seventh, usually 6th and 7th round. We didn't have a 7th rounder. Is more just special teams. So I'm not too, the Racy McMath and Brady Breezy. But if you take those two out of the qualm, the list, Farley was a steal. You can say Molden was a steal. Definitely Rashad Weaver. And you have a project in Des Fitzpatrick. You really jumped the ball on him. So, they must see something in him that they like, especially after the Senior Bowl. But, yeah, that's pretty much just my thoughts on all of this. Just thought I'd let y'all know what I thought about it. I thought it was pretty cool. If y'all want to watch, I did a live stream with my buddy Noah for round 1. My reaction was pretty solid right there. I wasn't screaming, but I was just like going, let's go, just being really loud. And then I liked, I streamed after day 2 yesterday as well. So, yeah, thank y'all for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe. What do y'all think about this? If y'all want me to go over, I guess, the NFL, I'm not too keen and too smart on that. But if y'all want me to go over that, just let me know. What do y'all think about this? And just share it too. Ooh, the Chiefs just drafted Trey Smith. Sorry about that. That's what I was looking at just now. But yeah, thank y'all for watching once again. AFO Aaron is out. God bless y'all.